Music just a minute. Welcome. Good morning, Monday morning after Mother's Day. So happy belated Mother's Day. I hope you had a good day. If not, it's not too late. It looks like it's gonna be a beautiful day. Get outdoors, do something fun for yourself. I ended up not even talking to my child yesterday. We were texting and I was like, it's fine. I went to a concert with him Saturday night and we had a blast, and he had to go back to his father's, and so it was a lovely afternoon of just napping. So I thought with yesterday being Mother's Day, we could focus on the goddess of motherhood. So the goddess of motherhood, according to the Indian myths, is Parvati. And Parvati was one of the wives of Shiva. I'm saying one of the wives. It was the same person when you look at the myths, just being reincarnated. So Sati being his first wife, she had gotten really upset at her king father for throwing this big party that was supposed to be a religious or some kind of spiritual ritual and celebration. And he did not agree with his daughter's pick as mate. He thought Shiva was a wild man, and he kind of looked like a wild man because he was kind of like an Rastafarian in a way. You know, he would wear a loincloth, and he loved being outdoors, and he ran around with all of his group of guys. If he wasn't meditating in the Himalayan mountains, he would meditate for hours and days and weeks and months at a time. And he had like long dreadlocks, he smoked the ganja, you know, he would be out hunting. And anyway, the king did not agree with his daughter's choice. And anyway, he didn't invite them to this religious ceremony or party that he was throwing. And his daughter came and threw herself into the fire. And that's where Virabhadra comes in. Virabhadra, which is the warrior, what we call the warrior poses, was a personification of anger and grief that Shiva felt, and it was born out of one of his dreadlocks. So Sita's gone, reincarnated was Parvati. And so Shiva, you know, reclaimed his wife Parvati in that particular lifetime. And Parvati gets her name because she was the daughter of the mountain. Really, it was the king and the queen of the mountain, but they called her daughter of the mountain. So we have a pose called Parvantasana. So that seated mountain pose is named after Parvati, this goddess of motherhood. Because she's the goddess of motherhood, she's very powerful, she's very gentle, she's very sweet, loving, nurturing, compassionate. She has all those motherly qualities. If you heard of Uma, right? We probably think of Uma Thurman. Well, Uma's father was a theologian, and he studied these ancient myths. And he named her after another incarnation of Parvati, which was Uma. So she's named after one of the goddesses. Now, because she's the goddess of motherhood, she's also fiercely protective, and she tries to banish evil. And so she also comes up as Durga and Kali in some of the other stories. Her sister was Ganga or Ganja, which is like the Ganges River. So her sister was this river goddess. Her brother was Vishnu, the god of preservation or the preserver, the one that's often depicted underneath the ocean and the sea. But one more little story about Parvati is she really wanted to be a mother, and she wasn't a mother yet. And she loved and was devoted to her husband Shiva. But Shiva was often, you know, meditating in the mountain or off with his friends. And she decided she would create her own baby. And this was Ganesha. So she's the mother of Ganesha, who is the god of the remover of obstacles. He also rules the pelvic floor. So the story goes that she created this beautiful boy, this child. And Shiva had been gone for a while. Shiva didn't know he had this son. And Parvati was going to take a bath. And so she was taking a bath at the back of the house. And Ganesha decided he would stand at the threshold of the door to kind of protect his mother while she was being vulnerable and taking a bath. Well, Shiva shows up with his posse of friends, and Shiva shows up, and he is like, who is this standing in my door? Well, Ganesha didn't know Shiva. He had only known his mother Parvati. And so Ganesha was standing strong at the door frame, and Shiva wanted in. Well, Shiva just got mad. He had a temper and just cut his head off. It was like, and he wanted to get to Parvati. He wanted to make sure she was okay. Well, Parvati heard what was happening. She came running in and like freaking out because her beloved child is now decapitated. So she looks at Shiva. She's like, what have you done? This is our son. You haven't been here, but this is our child. Fix this. Well, but Shiva's a god. He has superpowers. So he told his men, go out into the forest, find the first head that you can get, and bring it back to me, which happened to be an elephant. So they brought the head of the elephant back. He set it on his child's body, and thus Ganesha came to be. Therefore, Ganesha having the head of the elephant. So that's a little bit about Parvati. And I thought, since it was Mother's Day, we would focus on the goddess of motherhood. And we're going to bring a little bit of this story into our practice today. So let's go ahead and sit upright. If you have a bolster to sit on, feel free to sit on that, because it does bring a sense of ease to your back to develop that better posture. Have your hands resting down on your lap and your eyelids gently turned down over the eyes. We mentioned that Parvati means daughter of a mountain. And sometimes when we're sitting upright like this, I try to allow you to invite a vision of a mountain here in your body. So just to feel the broadness of your lap. Feel your seat resting down into the earth. And visualize the base of your body is like the foundation of a mountain. Continue to breathe in and out through the nose, and notice on your in-breath, the crown of the head rises up a little bit loftier up towards the heavens above. Allow the crown of your head to represent the peak of a mountain, and the arms being the slopes of the mountain. Set your drishti in and up towards your mind's eye, as though you're looking off into the horizon. Imagine you're looking off at a distance towards the sunlight. Continue developing deep, strong inhalations and exhalations. Centering yourself, grounding yourself. We're going to go right into Parvatasana, the seated mountain pose. So as you inhale, circle the arms up overhead, place your palms together over the crown. Allow the elbows to splay nice and wide. And notice when you splay the elbows wider, how it broadens the chest and your ribs. We're going to do a little pranayama technique here. So close your eyes, take a deep inhale in, and then draw the navel in and up towards the heart. Pause and retain the breath briefly, and then exhale, let it go. Breathing in. Suction the belly in and up. You're trapping the energy, the prana at your heart. And then exhale, release it back out. Inhaling. Let the abdomen create a cave-like region. And then exhale, breathe out. We're going to do one more. Take a deep inhale in. Zip up with that Uddiyana Bandha. Now imagine that energy coming all the way up to the crown. Exhale, release. Affirming before you exit out, my thoughts and energy rise up to touch the sky. Now on your next inhale, lift the arms straight up, separate your hands out, land down on your left hand and curve in that direction. Stay rooted through your sits bones. That top arm can sway over like a C curve, or it can extend long, reaching up and out through the fingertips. You could be yin or yang with your approach. Just really open up the channel of the breath here. Inhale, bring yourself all the way up. Exhale, rainbow over to the other side, landing down with the right hand. Curving in that direction. Discovering how much extension you want to put into the arm. How much breath you want to implore into your lungs. Waking up the side body. Encouraging a deeper breath. Affirming as you hold strength and courage, fill up my body cells. Inhale, come all the way up to the top. Release your left arm behind your back, and then take your right arm to cross underneath that. Fly up through the heart center and drop low through the shoulders. As you exhale now, bow the head, chin to the chest. Inhale, roll the head over to one shoulder. Exhale, drop the chin, gently round it to the opposite side. Inhale, bring the head back to the top, and then exhale, release your arms. We're going to take that in the opposite formation. So right arm threads behind the back, left arm's going to cross below. Sternum flies up, shoulders drop down, and then lower the chin to the chest. Inhale, roll the head over in one direction, and exhale over to the other. Inhale back to the top, exhale, release your arms. All right, let's go ahead and come up to stand. We're going to be using 2 blocks. And the first block is going to go in between the thighs. And you're going to solidify your feet down into your sticky mat. You're going to roll the thighs in to squeeze the block, and the thighs press back. Hold the second block in your palms and slowly lift it up. When you reach the arm up, if you have any strain in your shoulders, cranking them back alongside the ears, they can stay slightly forward. But if possible, see if you can frame your face with the arms, maybe taking it out of your peripheral line of view. So keep grounding your feet, keep lifting taller through the rest of the body. Coming into Urdhva Hastasana. Take one more deep breath. As you exhale, gently lower the arms without losing the ignition that you placed in your legs. And as you inhale, lift up through the sternum. And as you exhale, begin to fold forward. Still holding the block between the thighs. If you need the second block underneath your hands, you can use it for that purpose. But you might be able to bow out without the second block. Now we're trying to keep the legs elongated. We're trying to do this more in the Iyengar way. So you're pressing into the 4 mounds of the foot. The muscles are engaged through the lower body as well as the core, but we're lengthening and decompressing the low back. From Uttanasana, affirming mentally within, nothing no one on this earth can hold me down or back. Now on your next inhale, grab that second block, hold it between the hands, bend the knees, slowly lift the arms up to your Utkatasana, your chair pose. Your knees are bent, you're sitting back with your hips, but I want you to notice the excess weight in your heels. What I want you to do is put the focus here in the side strips of the body by reaching the arms up and out, up and out, up and out. So once you find those side lats, once you increase that effort, notice how the weight distributes more towards the toes. You take one more deep breath. And then as you exhale, bring the arms down, grab that second block, and then come up. As you come up, you're going to shift your weight onto the right foot, broadening the base. You're going to hold the blocks in your hands, but you're going to create an L shape here. Right arm to the right side, left arm up overhead. We're coming into 4-point star, flying the left foot up, spreading out through the toes, and reaching through the padding of the foot. Balance and breathe. As you exhale, slowly lower the left foot, bring the arms down, shift your weight onto the left leg, broaden the base of that foot. When you're ready, create the L-shaped formation, right arm up, left arm to the left side, and when you're ready, pick up that right foot. Find something to focus on, something steady and unmoving. Exhale, lower the right foot as well as the arms. Good. Take a deep breath in, shoulders roll back, and as you exhale, hinge forward from your hips, and you're going to bring the blocks down underneath your shoulders. Now let the blocks be ahead of the toes. So basically the hips, knees, and ankles are aligning, and then your shoulders, elbows, and wrists are aligning. So it's similar to what we would be doing in tabletop position. That way the vertebrae gets really long and spacious. Continue to shine the heart through, reaching out to the crown of the head, staying long through the lower body. And on your next exhalation, bring the blocks back and then fold all the way down into Uttanasana. Draping here. And it's okay at this point if you want or need to soften your knees. So right now we've just been kind of warming up the body, different parts. And we're going to start to flow. Now this first flow, we're going to be using blocks again to add in a little bit more of a strength factor. So on your next inhale, step back to plank. And as soon as you do so, sink down to your knees, find one of the blocks, place it in between your thighs. And when you're ready, you're going to lift back to plank. So that same alignment and work we were doing with the inner thighs, add that in here. And then as you exhale, power back to Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Notice how using the block between the legs is going to keep the right positioning of the feet. On your next exhale, you're going to slowly drop and hover the knees. You're still holding the block. You're still pressing into the palms and feet, and you're igniting your core. Shoulders stacking over hands. And then exhale, lift up and back again, downward facing dog. Come forward again and hover the knees. Lift your head, keep the neck in line with your spine. Look down at your mat. Take in that coloration. Create some color therapy for yourself. Good, sail back, downward facing dog. We're going to do one more of those. Slowly coming back, hovering the knees, breathing in and out through the nose. When you're ready, set the knees all the way down, untuck the toes. Find both of those blocks, take them underneath your hands. Send the blocks out in front of you, hands shoulder distance apart. Bury the belly over your thighs. Your head does not have to touch the floor. In fact, you may just want to keep the ears in line with the upper arm bones. Affirming here as you hold. Then our prayers for all of mankind to live in harmony and in peace. On your next in-breath, go ahead and rock up. Slide the blocks over to the sides. Come down to the front of your thighs, down to the pubic bone, and down to the chest. All right, we're going to use one of these blocks, and we're going to hold it in between the hands as we sail the arms in front, and as we shimmy the legs back. All right, we're going to come up to locust. So when you're ready, inhale, lift to locust. Take that block in your right hand, slowly carry it behind your back. And then see if you can crank the shoulders back, lift your chest higher. Good, now release that block from the left hand, bring it all the way out in front of you again, full locust. Good, use the left hand to carry the block back behind. Find it with your right hand. See if you can shift up, strengthening your back body. Good. Bring that right hand around with the block out in front of you. Just gonna do two more. When you're ready, right hand carries the block behind. Inhale, locust. Exhale, bring the block around in front. Carry it back with the left hand. Inhale, lift. Good, exhale. Arms out in front and release. Send the hands up underneath the shoulders. Push up to table, curl the toes, launch into downward facing dog. So notice your muscles in your back. We were holding locust. We were working with that block. We were adding in a little extra effort. Now let that heat begin to disperse or cool down. On your next in-breath, we're going to slowly walk the feet forward towards the top of the back. Once you arrive, lengthen out through the spine, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, free fall down and in. Inhale all the way up to the top. Exhale, hands to the heart. All right, we're going to release the arms beside us. Bury the feet down into the floor. The more you pressurize the feet, the more you're going to work the muscles through the legs. They're going to hug close to the bone. Fingertips point down. Heart shines up. Chin parallel. Tadasana. The standing mountain pose. Inhale, take the arms up overhead. Place your palms together. We're going to do Parvati from standing. Close the eyes. Inhale, take a deep breath in. Lock in the belly and the pelvic floor. Exhale, release. Inhaling. Trap and hold. Release. One more. Inhale. Trap and hold. And release. Inhale, take the arms up overhead, separate the hands. Exhale, swan dive down to your Uttanasana. From Uttanasana, inhale, lift halfway up. Exhale, drop back in. Inhale, we're taking the right leg back. As soon as you step the right leg back, turn and plant the right foot. Float your hands up, and you're going to turn your torso to the right. Now, look at your back foot. Make sure it's somewhat parallel to the back of the mat. Lengthen your arms out shoulder height. Launch out over that front leg. Windmill down to triangle pose. Now I want you to grip your feet into the mat. Lift up through your knees. Take your left hand in front of your shin. And then roll open through the barrel of your chest. Think of that triangular shape being the shape of a mountain or a volcano. Inhale, use that top hand to come up. And as you exhale, we're going to bend the front knee and we're going to bring the hand in front of the calf, not the hand to the floor.
and the right arm reaches up. It's more of the kind of hot 26 form of triangle. Good, inhale, slowly bring it back up. Straighten that front leg. Good, exhale, triangle pose. Trikonasana. Inhale, draw up. Exhale, lunge that knee. Bring the hand down to the inside without utilizing your hand or the floor. Notice the strength in the hip and the quads. Exhale, bring the right hand down. Spin away from the back heel. Frame that front foot with your hands. Sit back plank. Exhale, we're lowering to Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, we're rising to Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Exhale, we're rolling back to Adho Mukha Svanasana. And breathe. Inhale, right foot's gonna step through. Back heel's gonna lower down. Float your hands up. Straighten that front leg. Check in with the alignment of the back foot. And then float the arms up shoulder height. When you're ready, exhale, triangle. Right hand in front of the shin. Rooting the feet, lifting through the knees, opening up space for the diaphragm. Inhale, use that top arm to come up. Exhale, lunge that knee. They're coming back down. Again, hand to the inside of the shin. Shoulder stacking. Pressurize that right foot to come up to straighten that front leg. We're returning to triangle. Trikonasana, use that left hand to lift. Exhale, lunge that right knee, last one. Pausing, holding, breathing here. It's very similar to side angle, but different. Exhale, bring that left hand down, spin off that back heel. When you're ready, step the back foot forward, close into your Uttanasana. Inhale all the way up to the top. Place your palms together overhead. Just one pranayama technique here. Deep breath in. Trap the prana at the heart center. Exhale, release. Inhale, arms open up. Exhale, swan dive down and in. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, drop back in. Inhale, this time the left foot's gonna step back. When the left foot steps back, you're gonna lower the back heel to the floor. Your right hand's gonna transfer to the inside of that right foot. Now, this is where you can use a block if your hand won't go flat. We're gonna uplift the left arm. So we're taking this into more of a side angle. And then spin that top hand, thread that arm behind your back. And if you want to do the full arm bind, you can. I'm not going there today, but you certainly can drop the right shoulder, loop that arm under the thigh, and maybe clasp your hands. Exhale, unwind from that. Frame the front foot, step back plank. All right, now imagine you've got that block in between your thighs. So really roll the thighs towards each other. We often leave that out. Exhale, down dog. Coming back to a little bit of that core strength. Imagine that block's between the legs. You're bringing the knees down, you're hovering, you're holding. Core strengthening. Power back, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Do another, coming forward. Hovering the knees, lifting the head, breathing. Good, when you're ready, last one. So we're building up for an arm balance. So we need upper body strength, we need core strength. All right, last one, down dog. Now let's work through the vinyasa, come forward plank. Sit forward, lower to chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, left foot steps through. Back heel drops down. Left hand's gonna transfer inside the foot to a block to the floor. Right arm reaches up. Top hand spins away, looping it behind the back. Maybe creating the whole bind if you want it today. Good, exhale, spin out. Back foot is gonna step all the way to the front and lower the head and the heart. Inhale, bring the arms all the way up. Hands together overhead, close the eyes, deep breath in. Uddiyana Bandha, savor it. And then let it go. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, let the arms spray down beside the body, fingertips reaching towards the mat. Tadasana. All right, we're gonna grab the blocks. The blocks, again, are gonna be about the distance you would be between hands and feet and table. Same idea here. Lift the arms straight up. Exhale, hinge forward and stack the hands under the shoulders. And make sure that you have the alignment of thigh bones over shin bones. Okay, we're gonna lift the right leg. When you lift that right leg back behind you, make sure the toes turn down, the heel pushes back. Try not to slump around in your posture, even though we will be in just a moment. Right now, it's extended, it's straighter, it's more linear. But on the exhale, we're gonna bend the standing leg, we're gonna bend the back leg, and we're gonna crunch and curl in, nose towards knee. And then as we inhale, we power down through the left foot, straighten out through that leg, reach out through that right foot and through the crown of the head. You got it, exhale, contract and curl. That's 2, we're doing 3 more. Be very deliberate and mindful. Bend the standing leg when you curl in. And after you finish that grouping, you're gonna lift the right foot. You're gonna flex through that ankle. We're gonna work with the glutes. So your inhale, you're pumping the foot higher until you feel the glutes engage, and then exhale, soften and lower the knee. Inhale, pump and lift the foot until you feel the glutes ignite, and then exhale, relax. Good, 3 more. Are you feeling that left leg yet? All right, when you're done, release the right foot to the floor. Ha! We get to go to the other side. It's a lot, isn't it? Yes. Woo! We think blocks are like, blocks can make things fierce, actually. They can really challenge us.
Yeah, mine are heavier than balls.
Yeah, you've got, yeah, you do. All right, inhale, slowly pick up the left leg. All right, so at first, you're just extending it back behind you. Reach that left heel back like it's an extension of your tailbone, but also shine the heart forward and let your eyes look out. All right, just be here first, and then we'll start that movement of a generous bend in the standing leg, and the left knee and the head curl in towards each other, not to necessarily meet, but in the same direction. And then inhale, press it back. Create that long extension. Good, exhale. Curl it in and under. Stay just as deliberate, just as mindful. I love your pace. And then once you've completed your 5, be here, standing on the right leg, open heart. Now we're going to strengthen the standing leg as well as the glutes. So bend the back knee, pump that foot up in the air, exhale, soften it down. All right, 4 more. Really lift that foot up until you feel that side of the buttocks really tighten up. All right, now set the left foot down to the floor. All right, when you're ready to pick up your hands, kind of separate those blocks away as you come up. All right, so with this arm balance we're going to be building for, we also need some strong quads. We're going to work with Padangusthasana D. So the hands are going to be to the hips. Now, the reason why there's so much importance to this work here. I used to poo-poo it. I used to think, oh, yeah, whatever. But there is so much importance to this action here, especially in this balancing pose. Because usually what happens, people want to compromise and do this. But that standing thigh bone is rolling back, right? So think about that even though we're not holding the block and we're balancing on one leg. Every standing pose stems back to Tadasana. All right, so left foot grounding. Left thigh, inner thighs active. Hands to the hips. Take the weight off the right foot and slowly extend it up and out. Left thigh bone back, tailbone faces down. All right, pick up the right knee. Straighten the leg again. Again. Bend and lift. And then extend. Notice how the leg gets a little higher. If you need to drop it, it's okay. All right, when you skate that foot back, lift it back behind you. See if your right hand can catch it, big toe side. Lift your left arm. Dancing Shiva. Hinge forward. Come up and release. Okay, here we're going to pause. So I'm going to tell you another important piece that you need to know about Parvati. Shiva is considered the Lord of Yoga. It was all those hours and days and months of meditation that he received all the downloads and knowledge of what we call yoga. He was so excited when he got this information. He came down from the mountain and he took Parvati away to an island because he didn't want the secret to get out. And he shares all of his new knowledge, all of this thing called yoga. So technically, she's the first yogini. She hears all this, and being the goddess of motherhood, she's like, we have to share this information. Humanity needs this to reduce the suffering, to reduce the chaos, and all their frustrations. It's going to help their misery. And she was like, I don't know if humanity can handle it. And it was Parvati that convinced him humanity needs to know this information, and thus it was spread. So we actually have Parvati to thank for all of this practice. Okay. When they finally decided to share it, they did a mystical dance together. So when we do the dancing Shiva, I want you to consider that. Right foot is broad. Shift your weight here. Activate that inner thigh. Hands to the hips. When you're ready, left leg lifts. If you start getting cramp, just bend the knee. All right, try not to tuck the tailbone or compromise your posture. Lift the knee. See if you can do it again. This is going to come up in the arm balance, by the way. One more. Okay, we're gonna go back to the flow. Oh, yes, thank you. Thank you, dancing Shiva. Always call me out if I leave something out by mistake, right on up. Mystical dance. Okay, hands to hearts. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, pour down. Inhale, take your plank. Exhale, take Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, up. Exhale to downward facing dog. And this is where we're gonna come through to sit. So if you wanted to bring the knees down, or if you wanted to hop through, crisscross the ankles to sit. Either way. Okay, first thing we're gonna do, set up the blocks. If you don't have blocks at home, you can just have imaginary blocks. But I want the foot to go in the middle, your right foot. And your left foot is like Janu Shirshasana. The knees open, the foot connects to the inner thigh. Okay, use your fingertips to help lift your chest. All right, when you're ready, inhale, lift the right foot, cross it over, and lower. Yeah. Inhale, lift, bring it back to the center, and release. Good. Inhale, lift. Exhale, cross it over to the left. Release. Good. Very simple, but your quads are going to be sore tomorrow. And hip flexors, yep. And because it's hip flexors, quads, it's also core. So it's that lower strip of the belly too. This is all going to make sense when we actually get to the pose. Okay, last one to the middle. All right, inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold, and your hands can rest on those blocks if you want. But turn that navel towards that right knee. Move from Janu Shirshasana. Come on, back up. We're gonna swap that position with the legs. Left leg in the middle. Right foot Janu Shirshasana. Hands beside you. Lift your chest. All right, when you're ready, lift the foot. Scale it over one block to the left and set it to the floor. Good. Lift it up. Bring it back to center. And then now take it over to the right. Now you know what to do. I'm just going to go back and forth. Almost works. Next time you come through the middle, you can pause and then inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale, Janu Shirshasana. Turn that belly button over towards that left knee. All right, we'll move those blocks out of the way. All right, we're going to separate the feet. And we're going to lift the buttocks off the floor. Come to squat. From
Squat, we're gonna transfer to bear pose. Okay. Will we pause just a minute though? Is anyone else feeling one hip, like my left hip? What's yours? Mine's my left too. That's what I wanted to say here just a minute more, if that's okay. Whew, I don't know what that's about. Okay, now we'll lift the tailbone up, turn the feet to face forward, stack the elbows on the knee, and the palms will come together. All right, so this is bear pose. So Bhujapindasana, we're actually gonna do 2 arm balances. So Bhujapindasana is something that shows up in Ashtanga yoga. And it's where the legs squeeze over the upper arms, and then we flex and float the feet. That's gonna come into play with our second arm balance, which is the elephant trunk pose, since we mentioned Ganesha today. So as you scoop and hunker down, your hands will solidify next to your inner ankles. And then we sit, but squeeze the legs to the arms and lift the head up. You heel toe the feet over, and then you flex and float the feet, balancing on your hands. I know, it can be really tough for the wrists. So Melissa, you're going outside where it should be inside.
That explains why.
Yeah, and I widen my knees to sit the tailbone down, but then I squeeze the legs again when I work the feet over in front of the hands.
Like that.
Yes, yes,
That does seem hard on the wrist.
it is, yes.
I know.
Especially if, you know, I think it's especially hard on the wrist for people who are more corporate. I find, you know, just because hands are often curled. So, all right, so you may or may not be able to do this next one, but it's fun and we're gonna start bringing all this together. So let's sit on the floor. And we'll start with just some hip stretches. So the right knee's gonna bend. We're gonna take a hold of the pinky toe side. We're gonna lift the foot up and then transfer the left hand to the right foot, right hand to the right knee. Now you can be here, or you can do the cradle hold, wrapping your arms around. And your arm can go in front or around the knee, it doesn't matter. But as we inhale, grow the stem of the spine longer, and as you exhale, hug and squeeze the shin closer. We do that 2 more times. Inhale, lift. Exhale, cradle the leg pose, you're squeezing it towards you. Last one. And then rock the baby. We had to rock the baby for honoring mothers. All right. Elephant trunk pose. Let your left hand catch the foot. Now we round the back and dip the head down because this right arm has to hook under the knee and push it back. And then we set the hand to the floor. When we let go of this foot, we engage the hamstrings to point the toe and squeeze that arm. Then the left hand comes down. Then we have to lean forward in order to lift using core strength, upper body strength, hip strength, quad strength, elephant trunk. That's it, Steph. Yep, that's it. Yeah, and you can use blocks too. So see, Elaine's gonna use blocks. Ah, boom, beautiful. Oh, that's so pretty. Yes. Blocks are great, right? They can assist, they can make things more dynamic, or they can assist. In this case, it assisted her with that lift and flight.
Yeah, I feel like my core couldn't really engage. Maybe that's after 3 kids. But yeah, just kind of.
Yeah, it helps, doesn't it?
that same idea, right? It's different, but similar idea when we're coming here, right? The core, it doesn't have an option, it has to engage. Okay. Any questions on that? Okay, so someone asked me yesterday, let's go ahead and break it down. Someone asked me yesterday, it just hurts too bad. Well, are your wrists always hurting? And if that's the case, maybe it's something dietary. I'm learning that the hard way right now. I love sugar, but I have cut sugar way back the last 6 weeks. I don't have the joint pains I was having in my wrists and thumbs. It was becoming a problem. And as soon as I figured out what was causing it, you know, so think about that. It could also be like job, corporate, you know, just not having that available yet. But there's a couple different things you can do with your hands. Instead of having all your weight coming into your wrist, think about putting the weight, it's kind of while we lean forward a little bit, to take it into the forward part or mound the hand. A second way to do it is something that comes up where you do a tiger grip, where you're kind of gripping your fingers a little bit, and then that lifts the palm of the hand and creates like a bandha for the hand. So you could try different grips if you don't want to use the box and see how that works, okay? All right, we need to do it to the other side. So take a hold of the pinky toe side of your left foot, cross it over your chest, and have a hand hold or cradle hold. And then inhale, lift to the crown, so squeeze the leg. And there's not many poses where we actually use the arms to pull in, but this is one of the poses where we do pull in, as long as there's not any sharp shooting pain. And then rock the baby. Right hand holds the foot and lifts it up. And then we drop the head round the back, shove that leg back with the left arm, point the toes, engage the hamstrings as you squeeze the arm. It can be anywhere between your elbow and the shoulder. Then the right hand comes down, leaning forward and lifting up. Elephant trunk. One side's always a little easier than the other.
This isn't it.
That's not it.
Me
Yeah.
too.
You usually can tell right away. It's like, oh, that side was easier, this side's way harder.
They're sisters, not twins, right?
All right. Take my hair down as we're rolling to our backs. Play around with that at home with those different grips and using blocks to see what's accessible for you. When it conforms to take a block, grab a block, bend the knees, tuck and lift, and slide that block under the sacrum. Inhale, lift your left leg, point the toes. This one also is sometimes referred to as elephant trunk pose. And if you feel like rotating your ankle or flexing and pointing the foot, you certainly can. Exhale, release the left foot. Inhale, fly the right leg up. Encouraging that blood flow to come down towards gravity to aid the heart. Also good for the spleen, which helps to purify our blood. That refreshment coming down towards the brain. The refreshment to the mind. Lower that foot down. Now roll to the outer edges of the feet. Bring the soles of the feet to meet as the knees splay open like butterfly. And I know this makes it slightly intense. We won't stay here forever, just a few rounds of breath. Close the eyes. Your breath as being like a sweet elixir of life. This is going to work as our final inversion today. And draw the knees back together, separate the feet apart, tuck and lift away from the block, roll it down to the sacrum, catch your knees, hug them close. Open your arms out shoulder height, and then rock the knees forward. So the feet are hovering over the floor and the knees are lined up over the hips. And let your knees start to sink halfway over to the right side. Bring them back through center and carry them halfway over to the left. And just do this a couple more times, back and forth. We did some glute work, and hopefully you can tell how this is a nice massage for the buttocks. You may even find that piriformis. And the next time you sway the legs over to the left, bring it back through the center, land your feet, and then prepare for relaxation. So maybe you want to use the blocks for restorative back bend. Perhaps you want to bring the bolster underneath your thighs. Maybe a blanket underneath your head or on top of your belly. I want you to consider how in yoga we talk about the masculine and the feminine energy. What is often termed Shiva and Shakti. The Shakti is represented more at the base of the spine, this energy awaiting to be awakened. This creative life force, these creative juices waiting to be utilized. For we were made in the divine's image, and the divine is the creator. Shiva represents the consciousness or the intelligence behind the creative life force. And in yoga, we talk about Shakti being more at the base of the spine and the Shiva energy being more at the crown of the head. But when we create harmony and balance, when the chakras are aligned, they meet in the middle at the heart. The integration of the opposites marry and merge. So you can even look at the heart as being like the representation of the yin-yang symbol.
perfect balance between the divine masculine and feminine. So go inside, go into the depth of your heart and have your own mystical dance and allow your inner Shiva to meet your inner Shakti. Ebb and flow of your breath. How it was there for you when you needed it to fuel you. How it's been there for you when it needed to calm. How it's been there for you even through relaxation. You have stepped away from the reliability of the breath is something we often take for granted. Begin to awaken your hands, feet. When you're ready, begin to exit the pose that you chose to reclaim a formal seat. Sitting upright like we did at the very start of our practice. Maybe discovering that now that the muscles have been awakened and strengthened and lengthened, it's a little easier to sit. and a little easier to maintain a sense of presence. Try to take this presence with you through the remainder of your day. Joining your palms together to prayer. The light within me honors and bows. Same with me to you. Thanks for joining today.